Linda Hamilton some more love? Making it scarier or more loving, but we're excited that you're here. So go ahead and take a seat because I have many, many questions for you.
All right, here we go.
Now, in my considerable cyber stalking of you, I have heard you say that it really took you a long time to make the decision to participate, regardless of the call from James Cameron, aka Pookie Pie.
I call him Jimbo.
Oh, thank you. Linda Hamilton, a scourge. She's telling us his nickname, Tim. So
She slept with him, I have.
only once. This is a fucking dream come true. So let's talk about, was there a pivotal moment for you in that long decision-making process? What made you decide? Was there one thing, or was there one hope that you had? What was it that made you come back? Because you did not have to.
No, I didn't, and I really gave it careful consideration. Because I felt that the first two were very intact, and you kind of want to retire a champion. Or rest on your laurels, as he said, but it was the passage of time, and I was very intrigued by, the character is the same, but time changes everything, and what has happened, who is she now, what has happened to make her who she is now, and there were so many more possibilities 27 years later that I felt that there was just a world of richness that I could explore, and then Rocket as a woman of a certain age.
Seeing you as this character in these movies has made such a deep impression on people that I want to talk about what it's like for you with life experience.
I'll just put in the same kind of work and get the same results, and that doesn't happen. Training-wise, worked really hard for a good year, diet and all of that to sort of, get trim and get as far into the character as I could physically, but one day I woke up and I was like, you know what, I can no longer worry about trying to be what I was, because I am so much more than I was. And that was the moment that I realized I really wanted to really be on board with this, that the richness of my life experience is only going to enrich the character that I play, and that just gave me so much to work on, the backstory stuff that you won't see, but you will see in my performance.
Right.
And going to just people will always talk about the training and the body, but really the work of an actor, the hard work that I did was the deep exploration of a woman who's pretty much an outsider, whose life hasn't worked out well, and who's lost so much. And that's the true work, is to explore the interior landscape of a character who I just had to go to my deepest sorrows and my places of deepest loss. And that's what makes Sarah Connor Sarah Connor.
Yep. And it's
You
also,
rock!
it's also what makes a sequel good. Because you want to see the characters that you know in a new situation where they're proving themselves in a different way.
I agree.
When you're not pumping things out so fast, you actually have somewhere to go.
Yes.
Now, why don't...
Linda's also got a lot of inner rage that comes out.
Towards Tim.
It comes out
Towards Tim.
Whenever she would get a gun in her hands and do a take, she'd fire the gun, she'd have this little smile on her face. And we'd have to do multiple takes because I'd say, Linda, I need you to stop smiling while you fire the gun. She's like, I'm not smiling. You totally are fucking smiling. Come on.
terrible time working together.
We hate each other.
When you go back to this movie with a new director, like what is it that Tim is going to bring to the table that makes him actually a good choice for this movie and not just super fucking lucky? We know it's more than that.
It is more than that. He is the most honest and true director I've ever worked with. He's just so himself, so steady, a great leader with great vision. And he brought, it sounds alarming, but he brought so much. I mean, to me, as an actor, teaching me that that you don't have to always be strong and heavy, that occasionally you can be strong and light. And that's what he's really good at, is the comedy, the action, and he just has a way of bringing us all with him because he is dearly beloved by his cast and crew. Dearly beloved.
Why don't we see if that's true? Let's bring out some more cast, shall we? Natalia Reyes, Diego Boneta, Mackenzie Davis, and Gabriel Luna. And swearing.
Fucking right.
We're not just hugging for you guys, we hug a lot. On
A
set.
lot. Very huggy set.
Yeah, that's like what everybody wants to know is that these movies are so intense that you guys are coming in as new cast members, right? But it seems like behind the scenes, it seems like you are sort of this weird, sometimes augmented human robot family, and it's wild to see. Natalia, can you talk about like your character kind of coming into this franchise and walking in to this new movie without giving anything away?
I'll try. Hi, everyone. Hi, thanks for being here. I am terrified. I'm telling you, this is really scary. You're too many and you know so much. Excuse me, I wasn't even born when the first Terminator came out, so
Oh boy.
I've done my best. So, Danny Ramos. I'm Daniela Ramos. I'm a girl from Mexico City. I'm a stubborn, Viva Mexico, cabrón!
Yes.
I'm a girl from Mexico City. I am a hard worker. I have my family, my brother Diego, my father, my taco dog. Is that a spoiler? I have a dog, that's it. And I work hard, I want the best for my family, and one day I go to work, and suddenly there's this new Terminator trying to kill me. So I don't understand why, and then we get these amazing two women, Mackenzie, Grace, and Sarah Connor, and they are trying to help me, so we'll see why.
We'll see what happens. Diego, can you talk about let's really talk about the action in this movie, okay? Everybody wants, Terminator is about action, right? We've got substance, we've got nuance, but we've also got lots of explosions.
Well, here's a picture I'll paint really quick. About a year ago, we were shooting a scene in the south of Spain, Murcia. It was 45 degrees Celsius, so that's
Hot.
over 100 degrees.
That's just a nice fall day in Texas.
Exactly. Yeah, by the way, that's true. And we were shooting this car chase scene in a pickup truck with no AC in the middle of the highway for 10 days. And it was amazing because Tim would come up and we'd shoot, little fragments of this little piece, which is part of this 2-minute car chase scene. And he'd show us the previs and he'd go, okay, that thing that we're going to shoot right now, which is worth a second in the whole movie, it's this. Right? And it was really cool to be a part of a movie that was this effects heavy with someone who knows so much, but also cares a lot about the emotion of the movie. I'm going to steal this line from you, Tim, because it's so good. He says, it's if you don't care about the characters in the explosions, there's no movie. You've seen explosions many times, and technology will only get better and better. But it's the characters and the emotion that pulls us through, and Tim was able to really do both.
It's great.
I just said that to Diego because he didn't get to be in any of the big explosions. I wanted him to feel good about his role in the movie.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you.
Mackenzie, let's talk about the size of this movie. I'm also obsessed with movies that you've done that are completely on the opposite end of the spectrum. Like Izzy Gets the Fuck Across Town. I'm like, yes, girl. And then you show up in Terminator Dark Fate. Can you talk about sort of the difference in your experience on this movie versus like so many of the other things you've done, even TV?
Yeah. I was pretty trepidatious going into it because I just had this kind of like old Hollywood idea that there'd be a director and a megaphone like across the lot being like, more tears! and that you wouldn't have any sort of nice experience shooting it. But then it's pretty evident as soon as you start talking to Tim that that's not his style. And so it was this enormous thing that's like, feels like an opera versus like black box theater or something. But Tim managed to make the acting side of it, the storytelling side of it, really intimate, and I think without this sort of very intense reliance on each other and this emotional core of the movie, it would have been bad to make and then see.
Sure.
But I think the movie we made was wonderful to make and really fucking good.
I actually thought when Mackenzie, I'd seen her previous work and she'd already auditioned and then she came down to Blur. And I genuinely thought that at some point when I started showing her what she had to do, she'd go, fuck this. I'm not. I was just joking before. I'm not interested, but she really, really worked harder than anybody. I think, maybe except for I don't know. She was up so early every day. She worked harder than everybody to become this person that is fantastic.
Linda, do you want to weigh in on that? Like, if you and Mackenzie got in a movie fist fight, who would win? I'm just gonna.
Linda would win. I assure you, Linda would win. Linda has an inner strength.
She's definitely stronger and younger, but I'm meaner.
You can't beat the Canadian out of a girl. I just have nothing.
Gabriel, when the cameras are not rolling, what's one of your kind of fave moments or memories?
Yeah, no. I have a guitar that I bring with me to work all the time.
Really?
And I was so afraid that he was going to go John Belushi on me and smash my guitar everywhere into splinters.
Is there a reason you were afraid of that?
Well, I just started playing.
He's not very good.
Okay. I was able to pick out the Brad Fidel's, Terminator theme, and I'd play it just to kind of remind us all where we were. And Tim would like it sometimes, and sometimes like, if you don't get that fucking guitar out of it. I think I just added to the fuck quotient. I'm the guy who made the bet with Arnold, and I put the over-under at 4 fucks.
Oh.
And dude, I was way off.
Yeah.
No. But I would, of course, like to pluck around. We also had a game that we played that our stunt team kind of started, and the next slice game. So if someone came up and now she gets to take a photograph of me, which ended up in the rap party video of everybody who died. And, but if you block it, which I didn't, she has to do 20 push-ups, which she doesn't. But yeah, that's what we did. But yeah, it was a fun set.
Speaking, does anybody ever neck slash Arnold Schwarzenegger?
No.
I don't remember him being a part of the game.
Yeah. And you're the one that worked with him the most, right? You guys trained together, didn't you?
Yes. When we it's funny because I had breakfast with Linda a bunch in Madrid. Then we moved to Budapest and we didn't see each other as much. She's like, man, it's happening again. It's just like the first Terminator. I never saw Arnold. It's like we were making 2 different movies. And so once we got to Budapest, I was like, oh man, who's my friend now? And then the best one that could show up was, I guess, Arnold Schwarzenegger. He shows up sometime mid-June, and we become buddies, and we spend a lot of time in the gym. And we just, he taught me a lot.
Okay, cool.
Great
So
time to spend with him.
just to clarify, you're saying that Arnold Schwarzenegger was your sloppy seconds friend. That's cool.
How did you
Arnold, don't listen to Grace. She's joking.
Could you, I mean, respectfully, could you keep up with them? That kind of blows my mind that that's just a thing that you could do is train with Arnold
No,
Schwarzenegger.
well, no, you know, I had to eventually over time learn to try to keep up with him. And because he's up very early in, you know, rule number 5 in his 6 rules of success, of course, is, you know, they say most people need 8 hours of sleep. To that I say sleep faster. So I had to learn to do my 12 to 6 schedule and be up there with him in the morning. And we'd go eat breakfast afterwards, and, you know, I could talk about everything.
I don't know if he got them, but I would get these texts from Arnold on the weekends when he wasn't shooting. That was like he's in Vienna and he's leading an orchestra in the street, and then he's in South Africa at a bodybuilding tournament, and then he did more in a fucking weekend than I did, I think, in the entire last 6 years.
Incredible energy.
It's like he's like that little gnome in Amelie where she takes some pictures all over the place. It's crazy. Wearing my Blur shirt, he was wearing our Blur shirt everywhere, free advertising for my company. I love it.
I feel like now is the perfect time for us to welcome him out, shall we?
Tim is going to say fuck at least 4 times, and I said no, he's going to say minimum 5 times. When I counted it all together, it was 10 times. So that's why he gave me now $20, because that's what we bet. Tim just loves talking about it. I like doing it. But anyway. If this is off the record, because we are intimate group right now. I don't know the reason this shit anyway.
I think we should have a little contest and keep score on that motherfucker.
That's the Terminator panel.
Imagine how set was like.
Yeah. I just want to know what you're going to spend $20 on, Arnold.
Well, there's a lot of options available, especially since the economy is going so well under Donald Trump. But maybe I'm going to get a protein shake for both of us.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, I like that. It's always about training. Let's talk about the same thing that we talked about with Linda, first of all. You don't have to come back, right? I know the line is, I'll be back. But what is the reason that you decided to join this movie?
Well, first of all, I want to correct you right off the top, even though you've done a great job until now. Because it's absolutely incorrect to say that I don't need to come back. Of course I need to come back. I'm addicted to Terminator. I mean, it's like Terminator was the movie that really launched my action movie career. I did Conan the Barbarian before then and Conan the Destroyer. And then after that, Jim Cameron came to me and says, I want you to be in Terminator, and I want you to play the Terminator. And from that moment on, everything has changed in my life, and I've done then after Commander and Predator and Red Heat and all the True Lies and all those movies, and we really created the 80s and the 90s kind of action genre. So I think that Terminator was really a very, very important movie for me in 1984. It was a very important movie for me in 1991. It became the highest grossing movie of that year. And it was one of those really unique characters where you were amongst the top 10 villains and scariest kind of characters, but at the same time you were also amongst the top 10 heroic characters. So that's unheard of. And only someone like Jim Cameron can create something like that. So I feel very indebted to Jim Cameron for having created this character and these movies. And I'm so happy that he's part of this one again, and that he brought everyone together again, and that he and Linda came back, and and that they were smart enough to get Tim Miller to direct it, because he was the perfect guy to direct it. So I think that you all will be really surprised at this movie, because it has come out really unbelievable, and I was blown away when I just saw it 3 weeks ago for the first time.
Arnold gets $100 every time he mentions Jim Cameron. Just like
I think Jim's got it.
But isn't it cute? I love when directors can also be funny.
I've got a perfect view of Arnold giving mad snake eyes to Tim Miller, and it is literally one of the most terrifying things I've ever seen.
he loves me. I'm not afraid of him.
I just also want to say, before you go to the next question, this is unbelievable, Comic-Con. I mean, when you think about it, where it began, and like with a few hundred people, I think it was like 50 years ago or so.
Yeah.
And now look at this. This has like 150, 200,000 people coming together here. And in Brazil, in Sao Paulo, they have a Comic-Con event. They had last year 287,000 people coming together there. So this is how huge those are. They're now all over the world, and this is the only place I've gone to Texas to one, and I'm going next month to Silicon Valley to a Comic-Con event. And there will be one in Germany, and that will be also part of the one in Sao Paulo next year, because we are going to combine the Arnold Classic Sports and Fitness Festival with Comic-Con, where we're going to have muscles and the world's strongest man competition and everything being brought together. I'm a big fan of what Comic-Con is doing and this interactive action that's going on. Very entertaining. They really give you your money's worth. So it's really fantastic. So I'm very proud of them, because I know for sure the amount of people that said to them, this will never happen, it's impossible, it can't be done, and they didn't listen to the naysayers, and they went ahead and did it anyway. And here's the huge success.
Terminator, the entire franchise is like one of the most quotable group of movies that I've seen, right? So I just wondered, like, Linda, do you have kind of a favorite line that really sticks with you?
You're terminated, fucker.
It just got goosebumps.
It's what I do.
Arnold, do people quote you to you all the time?
Well, not only quote me, but I mean, they also try to imitate my accent.
Yeah. I specifically decided not to go that direction.
No, beautifully, he quotes himself sometimes. We'd be on set and, sometimes be dragging a little bit. He's like, do it now.
That's it.
Oh, then...
That's the way I talk.
Well, yeah, then we're at breakfast.
Actually, in the helicopter, I had the quote, I said, get to the chopper!
No, my favorite, we were at breakfast one time, my wife was talking to a friend of his, and it's like, what does your father do? And literally mid-bite, he's like, who is your daddy, and what does he do?
Why not?
Actually, Natalia does the best Arnold imitation. What does he say after a good take?
Very nice.
Oh, you gotta do it.
Very nice.
Yep, that was pretty good. I'm into it. I mean, we've done an awful lot of talking here. I kind of want to turn this over to you and that guy down there, because it's time for something very special.
Arnold's going to talk about politics for about 20 minutes. And then maybe we'll show you some footage. No, he's not going to talk about politics. 20 minutes.
I just want you to just keep sitting here and quoting yourself. That's kind of, I'm into that.
Arnold's supposed to... Arnold's supposed to announce it, right?
Yep,
Arnold,
it's all you.
what do you got to say about some
well.
fucking footage we're going to show these fucking people?
Let's not talk about it. Show the footage. Come on.
Yeah.
Do it now.
She promised she'd go to the premiere with me. She doesn't want to see it until then, but she promised. You did
I'm gonna
promise.
be like this. That's amazing, Tim.
Yes.
And everybody at this table rocks. Every single person at this table rocks.
It's so true. There's so much energy in what we just saw. Like, Mackenzie, you're getting stared down. You like the leg break. There's so many things where I'm like, I'm having a nerdgasm. This is like, wow. What's your response to seeing that? And I mean, in a form you've never seen it before.
I'm surprised how many times I've teared up at the Terminator Dark Fate panel backstage in here. But it's so, I love Linda so much, and she's such a wonderful person, and it's just so, it's just really moving to get to see her in all of her glory and to see the excitement about her coming back. And Tim, I love everybody. So it's I'm so proud of what you did. I think you said it best, that like, Terminator 6 doesn't sell itself, but this is such an amazing thing that you made, so I'm so excited.
We made it together.
And that's the thing. That's what translates into that final product. And like, Natalia, I'm getting serious, intense, kind of Sarah Connor-esque vibes from your character. Like, did you kind of have some inspiration from the previous movies?
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, I'm too excited. It's, you know, this woman, since the first day I met you and Tim was there, she was so generous, so loving. She touched me, she hugged me, and I'm sure she's a big part of the reason why I'm here. I know Tim and everyone else.
No, Linda.
But-
Linda chose her.
Well,
It's true.
She helped. And, you know, first time I saw Sarah Connor back then, I was like, I think we all women, we were like, I want to be like her.
Yes.
She was so strong, but
Yes.
still feminine. She was a mother. She was smart. She was everything. And, you know, it was a huge challenge for me to come here and do this. And she was so supportive all the time. She was loving, she's generous, she's so committed to her work. She's inspiration for me. I want to be just like you when I'm your age. Really, I want to be that strong. She did things that I couldn't do in this movie. She was stronger. She was so professional, loving. I mean, I cannot be more inspired. I'm sorry,
Now I'm crying. I think that is an important note to leave it on, because holy shit, you guys. You can see more of Terminator Dark Fate when it's in theaters on November 1st. Now, before we get out of here, I wanted to ask, Arnold, down there, you guys are going to be somewhere specific this afternoon, come about 3 o'clock. Do you want to tell everybody where that is, or shall I?
You go ahead and tell them.
Thank you so much. I forgive you for yelling at me earlier. It's great. Later on today at 3 o'clock, there's going to be an AMA on Reddit. Everybody's going to be there, so make sure that you send your questions. It's going to be amazing. And in the meantime, put your hands together for this unbelievable cast and director, Terminator Dark Fate.